Are we truly witnessing a strategic masterpiece unfolding in Atlanta? Or is this just another bewildering chapter in the Falcons' playbook, where long-term vision takes a backseat to fleeting ambition? For years, the Atlanta Falcons defense has been a source of frustration, a unit perpetually underperforming, leaving fans yearning for a consistent, dominant presence on the gridiron. But then came a seismic shift, a clear declaration of intent. A youth movement spearheaded by a flurry of high draft picks aimed squarely at injecting fresh talent and renewed vigor into the defensive ranks. 7 selections in the first 4 rounds of the 2024 and 2025 NFL drafts were meticulously channeled into building a formidable, future-proof defense. The excitement was palpable, the hopes soaring, as a new era seemed to dawn. Yet just as the anticipation for training camp reaches a fever pitch, a whisper turns into a roar, a rumor so audacious it threatens to unravel the very fabric of this carefully constructed youth movement. The Atlanta Falcons are being linked to a potential trade for Cincinnati Bengals star edge rusher Trey Hendrickson. This isn't just any trade rumor. It's a strategic paradox, a potential move that has the power to either elevate the Falcons to immediate contention or derail their meticulously planned rebuild. On one hand, you have a defense brimming with untested, albeit highly promising talent. Players like defensive lineman Rooker Hororo and rookie edge rushers James Pearce Jr. and Jalon Walker. These are the cornerstones of tomorrow, the future of the Falcons' defensive identity. On the other, you have Trey Hendrickson, a proven dominant force, a player who just led the entire NFL in sacks last season with a staggering 17.5. The Cincinnati Bengals, locked in a contract dispute with their star, are reportedly listening to offers, and the asking price, according to The Athletic's Diana Rossini, is steep: a 2026 first-round draft pick and a young defensive player. The question that gnaws at the heart of every Falcons fan is this: after committing so heavily to youth, after investing so much in the future, could the Falcons truly be considering sacrificing their budding stars for immediate gratification? Let's delve deeper into the core of this defensive transformation. The Atlanta Falcons, under the new regime, have seemingly embraced a philosophy of building from within, prioritizing sustainable growth over splashy, short-term fixes. The influx of draft capital into the defense is undeniable proof. Rook or Hororo, a powerful defensive lineman, represents the interior anchor of this new-look front. Then there are the edge rushers James Pearce Jr. and Jalon Walker, 2 rookies brimming with potential, raw talent, and the kind of athleticism that makes scouts salivate. These are players who, while currently untested at the professional level, embody the long-term vision. They are expected to develop, to grow into impact players, to form the backbone of a defense that can finally compete with the league's elite. The narrative has been clear. Patience is key, development is paramount, and the future is bright with these young, hungry talents. Fans have bought into this vision, excited by the prospect of homegrown stars blossoming into defensive stalwarts. The emotional investment in these young players is already significant. They represent hope, a fresh start, a departure from the frustrating cycles of the past. But then, like a sudden gust of wind threatening to extinguish a carefully nurtured flame, comes the Trey Hendrickson saga. A 30-year-old veteran, a reigning sack champion, a player who brings immediate, undeniable production. Nick Shook of NFL Network, a seasoned observer of the league's inner workings, has boldly listed Atlanta as a potential landing spot for Hendrickson. The logic from a purely win-now perspective is understandable. The Falcons just made a massive high-stakes bet on quarterback Kirk Cousins, a move that, despite its cost, failed to deliver the immediate dividends hoped for last year. The pressure on general manager Terry Fontenot and head coach Raheem Morris is immense. They need results, and they need them quickly. Shook's argument cuts to the chase. Production. He posits that while investing in young players is good, these choices are more aspirational than reliable, and the current regime doesn't have enough autonomy to subsist on dreams alone, not after their expensive bet on Kirk Cousins failed last year. It's a brutal assessment, a stark reminder that in the unforgiving world of professional sports, dreams don't win championships, proven talent does. Now, let's consider the emotional and strategic ramifications of such a trade. Imagine the scenario. The Bengals demand a 2026 first-round pick and a young defensive player. And the hypothetical name floated? James Pearce Jr., the very player the Falcons just invested a first-round pick in. Add Brandon Dorless to the mix, and you have a package that, on paper, seems almost absurd given the Falcons' stated commitment to youth. The initial reaction from fans would likely be a mix of shock and outrage. During the NFL draft, if the Falcons had traded their 2026 first-round pick and a 2027 third-rounder for Trey Hendrickson, the criticism from analysts would have been merciless. Yet, now that Pearce Jr. has donned the Falcons' uniform, now that he's been seen on the practice field, performing well in training camp, the idea of trading him, a tangible, identifiable young talent, instead of some unnamed future player, would infuriate the majority of the fan base. It's a classic dilemma. The allure of immediate, proven production versus the patient cultivation of future stars. The emotional connection fans develop with their draft picks, especially those who show early promise, is a powerful force. One that can easily turn to resentment if those players are cast aside too quickly. Shook's analysis, while harsh, does highlight the undeniable pressure on the Falcons' leadership. The Falcons need a proven veteran to chase quarterbacks. It's why they negotiated for Matt Judon last season, he wrote. He also acknowledges the significant cap space issues that would arise, requiring creative accounting to fit Hendrickson's contract and a potential extension onto the books. But in a world where leadership duos start to feel the pressure, future spending matters less. This is the cold, hard reality of the NFL. Job security often trumps long-term financial prudence. The desire for immediate impact, for a player who can step in and deliver sacks from day one, is a powerful motivator, especially for a team that has struggled so profoundly to generate consistent pass rush. The emotional weight of a losing culture, the relentless pressure to win now, can lead to decisions that, in hindsight, might seem short-sighted. However, and this is where the narrative shifts dramatically, this deal, as tempting as it might seem on paper, made more sense in April. It does not make sense in August. The landscape has changed. The draft picks have been made, the young players are in the building, and the vision for the future has been articulated. While the Falcons' defense is undoubtedly poised for significant improvement, and there are high hopes for Michael Penix Jr.'s left arm and the overall offense, this Atlanta Falcons team is unequivocally not a Trey Hendrickson away from reaching the Super Bowl in 2025. To believe otherwise is to succumb to a dangerous delusion. The financial implications alone are a massive hurdle. Signing Hendrickson to a new, likely lucrative contract, while simultaneously needing to negotiate extensions for crucial offensive weapons like Drake London and potentially Kyle Pitts, is simply not realistic within the confines of the salary cap. It would cripple the team's ability to build a comprehensive, well-rounded roster for years to come. Yes, Hendrickson will almost certainly be a better player in 2025 than rookie James Pearce Jr. or Jalon Walker. That's not an optimistic prediction. It's a statement of fact based on their respective experience levels. But the Falcons are looking far beyond just the 2025 season. They are building for sustained success for a window that extends well into the future. And in that long-term vision, Trey Hendrickson, for all his undeniable talent and immediate impact, simply does not fit the youth movement. He represents a short-term solution to a long-term problem, a move that could provide a temporary boost at the cost of undermining the very foundation the team is trying to lay. In conclusion, the potential trade for Trey Hendrickson presents a fascinating, albeit concerning, strategic dilemma for the Atlanta Falcons. While the allure of a proven elite pass rusher is undeniable, and the pressure on the coaching staff and front office is immense, such a move would fundamentally contradict the very youth movement the team has so publicly embraced. Sacrificing promising young talent and future draft capital for a veteran, no matter how dominant, would be a short-sighted decision for a team that is not yet one piece away from championship contention. The Falcons' path to sustained success lies in the patient development of their young defensive core, in allowing players like Pearce Jr., Walker, and Overhaul to grow into the stars they are projected to be. The emotional investment of the fan base, the strategic clarity of the rebuild, and the long-term financial health of the franchise all point to one conclusion. The Falcons must resist the temptation of the immediate splash and remain steadfast in their commitment to building a sustainable winner. What do you think, Falcons faithful? Is this a risk worth taking, a necessary gamble for immediate results, or a dangerous deviation from a promising long-term plan? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this report insightful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analyses and exclusive insights into the world of professional sports. Your engagement fuels our passion for bringing you the stories that truly matter.